Thank you, Matthias. I'm just sharing my screen. So hello everybody, I'm Shripriya. I'm a software developer in Model RealTime team. So today I will be giving a demo on the enhancements that we have done in Art Exporter. So Art Exporter is basically a utility for exporting model real-time models to code real-time files, which can basically be used in code real-time. So in this release of Art Exporter, there are significant improvements in model export workflows. So it includes improvements in export of the state machine diagrams, so with respect to line routings. Also, we've added new options to support subfolders and other customizations that are required during export. So let us look into the demo. First, we shall see the improvements that we have done in the diagram export. So here I have a sample which has a state diagram having certain routing of the transitions configured involving the bend points. So we'll export this model to Art now. With the export diagrams option checked. So this translates the diagram information from model real-time to the code real-time. So clicking finish would export the model and let us switch to code real-time workspace and add the exported project here. We can see that there's a layouts folder which has the diagram information translated from model real-time to code real-time. And yeah, so we'll open the state diagram of the same element here. And we can see that the diagram looks identical to that defined in model real-time. So now the routing information is preserved during export. We are actually working on further improvements in this area with the diagrams involving composite states and other configurations. So all the diagrams currently may not look identical after export. So yeah. Moving ahead with the further improvements that we have in Art Exporter. So there are certain options to customize the export now. The first option is to retain the contents of the destination project, basically. So the existing art and source files, if we wish to retain them before during the iterative export. So there is an option for that now. So the default behavior is that it would clear the destination files before each export. For example, if we have an requirement where we have two TCs in a project, one corresponding to a server configuration and the other to a client configuration, and we want to export them to the same project without removing the data from previous export. It's now possible by just unchecking this option, clear destination files. So with this, it's possible to retain the contents, the files from previous export. So by default, this option would be checked, which means it would be clear to ensure that it is a fresh export every time. Yeah, so we have more options added to customize our export. So that's why we have a new Art Exporter options page in this wizard. So clicking next navigates to the Art Exporter options page, which has certain options that we can customize during our export. So the option here is to map the package structure to subfolders for the generated art and the C++ files. So this option makes it possible to place the generated art and the C++ files in the subfolders that correspond to the package structure in our source model. So, and then if we want to segregate the C++ files that will be generated during export into subfolders, then that is possible using this option, place generated files in subfolders. So here I have a model which has the package hierarchy as shown here. So there is multiple packages, logical view, send, receive, and it has certain elements within this package. So this is the package hierarchy in the source model real-time model that I have. and let us export this using the default options that we map these package structure to subfolders in the code real-time, and also place the source files that we will be generated under the SRC and include. So if you've not configured anything if you've not configured a name to the folder for the C++ files and .h files, it would by default go to SRC and include. So, and then this name is customizable here, and so if we export this model now and switch to Code RealTime workspace, and let me add the new exported project here. So we can see that we have subfolders created for the packages that we had in our model real-time model. So, and the source files, the CPP files would go into the sources, the name that I configured for the folder, and the header files into includes. So this is customizable now, and the art files would be under the subfolder which corresponding to the package in model real-time. Also, the layouts corresponding to these art files would be in the same location as the art files. And if we want to switch off this grouping, so if we do not want segregation of the source files into any subfolders, we can turn off that by unchecking this option. So this makes the C++ files in the same hierarchy as that of the art files. So, and then once export is done, here we do not have the groupings for the source files. Instead, they're all in the same hierarchy as the art files that we have. So this is similar to how it is actually defined in model real-time. So all elements under send receive. So all elements under send receive folder corresponding files is what we can find here. So all the possible combinations of segregating the generated files into the respective way we want to visualize in code real-time is possible if we do not want to map these package hierarchy, but a flat structure having everything in the root folder. So that was how it was currently the Art Exporter. So everything under the root folder. So that's possible by just unchecking the option. So it's basically possible to organize the exported project content as per our project need. So, and one important point to note here is that we have TC output source subdirectory property that we can configure. So if we have this property configured in our project, then the configurations that we do during export is not taken precedence, but the property in TC has the precedence. So though the subgrouping was selected, but since this output subdirectory property in TC is configured, so this takes precedence, and we find the source files all placed under that source subdirectory. So the one that is configured in TC has the precedence over other customizations that we do in Art Exporter. So this is for the source files that we would be generating only. Yeah, so all these options that we saw now, except the diagram export option, it's supported from command line. So if we look at the export command option now, so it basically takes an additional parameter to the path to basically the art export options text file. So here we would have to specify the path to an optional text file which contains all these configurations basically to the options that we have. So there is no need to manually create this options file. So when we would have performed the art export feature in the UI, so we create this options text file with all the settings that we had configured in the UI. So if we get into the destination folder, we see that there is an export options text file, which has the different options and its corresponding values. So we can change these values to turn off and on whatever option we need, and then pass this path to that text file in the command, and so that can be used in the command line way of invocating the Art export. In addition to all these features, we have done some improvements in the warning messages that we log during export. So we add more details to as which element it corresponds to, the warning messages, and also done a range of bug fixes. Yeah, that's all with respect to the enhancements in Art Exporter. Any questions or suggestions?